Hey guys, like most booktubers, I tend to buy books faster than I can read them. I fully intend on reading them eventually, it's just, there's so much stuff I need to read, and then I see a book at a store or a garage and I'm like, ooh, it must have it! And so these are the books I've bought so far in the month of October. My name is Grant, welcome to GH Books, and this is a book haul. The first three books I have to share with you are some that I found at my local Barnes & Noble while just walking around, not looking for anything in particular. The first book I found in their current events section called The Rise of ISIS, A Threat We Can't Ignore by Jake Suklow. I'm assuming it, has to do exactly what the title says. It's about how ISIS, that we're now so focused on in the Middle East, became a threat. I am definitely looking forward to this, and I'm using it for a video project on one of my other channels, which I will link to right here, or you can check on it in the end slate. This next book I found in that section in every Barnes & Noble where they have the cheap hardback books, which is basically the bookstore equivalent of the candy rack next to the checkout aisle. Coolidge by Amity Shlaes. This book is basically a biography, and I've actually been reading this one, or at least listening to the audiobook, and it's very good. Amity Shlaes is the same historian who wrote the book The Forgotten Man, which I referenced in my previous video, which you can see at the end slate. My last Barnes & Noble book is Bully Pulpit by Doris Goodwin. To my understanding, it's a book about the presidencies of Theodore Roosevelt and William Howard Taft, their relationships to each other, and about the media in that time period. I picked this book because I'm using it as research material for a timeline I'm hoping to write on alternatehistory.com, which I'll link to down in the description below. I already purchased the audiobook for this from Audible, so I'm hoping to get to that pretty soon. The next 6 books on my list I found at a local garage sale that is nothing but books. This guy opens up his garage and it's wall-to-wall bookshelves. You cannot walk in there, so he has to pull bookshelves out when he actually does the sale. It's amazing. I find a lot of my books there, better than any of the used bookstores in town. And at this particular garage sale, which tends to be open every few months, I find a lot of older books that they do not have audiobooks for, and it's pretty damn hard to find them on any place like eBay or Amazon. First we have, damn it, some of these books are tiny. The first of these is A History of Islamic Spain by W. Montgomery Watt and Pierre Cachia, which I'm assuming it's about the Andalusia period of Spain, where basically the southern half of Spain was ruled by Muslim Moors. It'll most likely be going into my history section, though I'm not sure whether I should put it into my Islamic history section or my Europe history section. The second book is How Democratic is the American Constitution by Robert Dahl. This will most likely be going into my Constitution section, which is a subsection of my political science section. Next I have The End of History and the Last Man by Francis Fukuyama. I picked up this book from the garage sale mostly because I had read several other books that referenced this book many times. However, most of them reference it in a negative way, saying that, no, it's full of misconceptions and bad ideas. Well, I heard it referenced so many times that I thought, I want to read it for myself and see if it's so wrong, then why. And so it will most likely be going into my history section, though I'm not sure which subsection it'll be going into, so I'll have to take a look at that. The next book is Stalin's America Policy by William Taubman. I think this is going to have to go into my history section because it's, well, I'm not exactly sure why. I just think it'll fit best in the history section. From what I've read on the back, it basically talks about what Stalin's plans after World War II or its relations with the United States was going to be. The next book is The Sorrows of Empire by Chalmers Johnson. It's the same author as the book Blowback, which Ron Paul referenced many times throughout his campaigns for presidency, and so it's most likely going to go into my political science section. Lastly, we have a book by Douglas Egerton, Gabriel's Rebellions, The Virginia Slaves Conspiracy. Basically, this book talks about several slave revolts that occurred in the early 1800s and how they're all connected to one slave named Gabriel. So, have you guys read any of these books already? If so, if you could leave your thoughts for me in the comments below, I'd really appreciate it. Like, share, and subscribe, keep reading, and I'll see you next time.